everyone! If you enjoy the video, please leave a like and comment what type of content you would like to see next time. Also, only a small percentage of people that watch my videos are actually subscribed. So if you end up liking the video, consider subscribing. Check out the Patreon in the video description for more stories by my team. Enjoy the video!
I responded to an ad on Craigslist from some guy asking for help to move some furniture. He was paying pretty well and, after I practically laughed at him for asking if I could lift the furniture, he agreed to have me over to get it done. We moved everything around for what felt like hours, often moving the same piece of furniture to what seemed like the same place it was originally. Finally, he decided he liked the new arrangement, which wasn't that drastically different from how it looked when we started. Obviously exhausted, I sat down on the couch. He asked me if I'd like a Gatorade, to which I quickly accepted. He brought it to me in a glass and, while it tasted a bit off at first, I didn't care and gulped the entire thing down, then leaned back against the couch. After a few minutes, I started feeling a bit uneasy as the room began to spin. I tried to stand, but my legs felt like they weighed too much to lift. I tried rubbing my face to shake the feeling off, but my hands too wouldn't obey any of my commands. I felt paralyzed sitting there on the couch next to this stranger. I heard him move closer, then felt him breathing up against me. "You'll do just fine," he said, causing fear to course through my body. Do just fine for what? What was going on? Who is this guy and what does he want with me? Don't panic, you're just temporarily paralyzed. You still have all of your senses about you, meaning you'll hear everything I tell you and feel everything I intend to do with you. With that said, he picked me up off of the couch with little effort and carried me into a bedroom. He quickly stripped off all of my clothes. He then picked me up again and took me to a bathroom, where he placed me in the tub. He then rubbed some kind of cream all over my body and left the room. After a few minutes, I felt a tingling sensation all over, which slowly began to feel like a mild burning feeling. After about 20 minutes, I was in complete misery with my whole body feeling like it was on fire when the stranger finally reappeared. He turned on the shower and cleaned off all of the cream, after which I noticed that all of the hair on my body was coming off with this awful cream. Using a towel, he dried me off and wiped the rest of the hair from my body, then turned me around to face a mirror. Looking at my reflection, I could tell I was now smooth everywhere below my neck. The stranger then took me back to the bedroom and again sat me down on the bed, rubbing another type of cream all over me. I panicked while thinking about what this cream would be doing to me shortly, but I soon realized that it was just a lotion. It smelled very girly and made my skin feel extremely soft to the touch as he again explored my body roughly with his hands. Apparently happy with his progress so far, he brought me over to a table and sat me down in front of a mirror. I watched as he quickly went to the closet and came back with a collection of wigs of all colors. He went through them, one by one, roughly moving my head around as he situated them on top of me, then pulling them off in disgust as he tried to find one that would look natural. He finally decided on a shoulder-length brunette wig that he pinned in place. After which he moved my head back and forced it to see if it would move, then made some adjustments and stepped back to admire his work. After a few minutes, he began opening the drawers in the table and pulling out boxes that looked like those that would hold makeup. He went to work on my face with some solution that felt very thick. When he stepped out of the way of the mirror, I saw that he was applying a thick coat of foundation to my face, making it look very tan and smooth. After giving it a few minutes to dry, he pulled out some very dark blue eyeshadow and, forcing my eye closed with his offhand, I felt him applying it to each eyelid. Next, I felt him doing something to my eyelashes and then doing something very close to my eyeballs. When he again stepped away, I saw that he had apparently applied mascara and thick eyeliner to my eyes, making them look very deep now. I then saw him pull out some red-looking powder and apply it to my cheekbones, making them very defined and feminine. Lastly, he pulled out a tube of deep red lipstick, applied it to my lips, and then added on top of that a coat of sparkly lip gloss, making my lips look not only 3 times their size, but also very wet. Looking at his watch, the strange man apparently felt rushed, so he quickly picked me up and sat me back down on the bed. He went back to the closet and came back with a small box and some tube of liquid. He pushed me on my back and poured a healthy amount of the liquid on my chest, spreading it around. He then took 2 gel-looking objects out of the box and pushed them hard onto my chest, centering each one over my pecs. He held each of them there for a few minutes, then removed his hands and pulled me back up into a sitting position. The gels were now attached to me because of the glue he apparently spread around beneath them. I noticed that I was gaining a little bit of control over my body now and was able to slowly move my mouth and fingers, which the stranger noticed and again dashed into the closet. He returned with his hands full of clothing, which he laid down at my feet. He again pushed me on my back on the bed and I felt him working something over each of my legs, then pulling something up around my waist. Lastly, I felt my legs again being put through some openings and then some small material being pulled up until I felt what I could only imagine was the string of a thong sliding in between my hairless ass cheeks. He sat me up and I saw that I was now wearing a pink garter belt and a matching pink thong, while the snaps of the garter were hooked into some black designer stockings with pink bows running up the back. Going back to the clothes, he took a pink ruffly corset and placed it around my chest, then rolled me over onto my chest. I felt him getting up on the bed to apparently get some better leverage as he slowly tied the corset together in the back. He went through the laces again and again until I started feeling very lightheaded and noticed it was very difficult to breathe. Satisfied, he rolled me back over and sat me up, adjusting the corset a bit to fit my now respectable bust in the corset. He again pushed me back and worked something up to my waist that felt very snug and constricting, but not long at all. When I saw the mirror, I saw that he had pulled a tiny but very tight black skirt up my legs. It was so short that you could still easily see the bottoms of the garter and where they hooked into my stockings. I was now starting to be able to gently move my arms around, though I was still extremely weak and in no position to fight this man off. Still rushing, he came back and pushed my feet into some pink high heels unlike any I'd ever seen at the clubs I frequented. These heels had a viciously high back to them, I'd say at least 5 inches, then had straps that wrapped around and up my legs to about mid-calf. Once he had wrapped them tightly, I watched as he slipped tiny black padlocks at various points on the heels, effectively locking them onto my feet. I could now move my legs and gave a pathetic attempt at getting away, which basically just resulted in me falling onto my side. Chuckling, the man picked me back up and stood me on my now wobbling feet. I barely had regained enough strength to stand and was very unstable since I was now forced to basically stand tiptoed. A black collar was placed around my neck with pink lettering on it that I couldn't make out in the mirror. My voice was starting to come back around this time, albeit mostly at a whisper. Mustering up the energy, I whispered out my main concern at this point. "Why, hi guys. Ari here. Unfortunately, the full story is too steamy and too long for YouTube. The full story is over 20,000 words and can be found on my Patreon. Link is in description. With just a few dollars a month, you can help me make more stories like this. Thanks for watching.